Okay, here we are now. All I can say is you looked at Raw and you saw what was going on last night. You would know that yeah, that's a train wreck of multitudes of what you will get, and some of the same thing for every week, every time, redundancy of some matches. Yep, that's Raw for you. Raw is like, okay, for me, isn't it beef and bean burritos, or it's just pizza and tuna every week. No different meal, nothing new, absolutely. And I'll be right back. That's true. Okay, sorry about being that. I go stepped out for a minute. Yeah, the beginning of the program was about. Wasn't identify what it was about? Oh, that's right. It was about the so-called the man Becky Lynch working on an apology to the McMahons for punching and slapping them individually, the husband and the wife, Papa H and Mrs. H, Mama H. That's what that was actually about. Yes, this is why I ain't doing these videos and wrestle with you for a minute because I know I look back at Raw like WWE is going on. It's not that much stuff going because it's most of the same thing, redundancy. Everybody's usually on here and the platform here. They won't get tired doing reviews on that, so they don't talk about their projects for a minute and move on to the next thing. Some other legit folks, who have their own promotion, do that. They talk about most of their stuff, except they watch it on. That's what I can start doing. If I watch it on TV online, I can record myself and talk about it through results, reviews, or what I look at for highlights instead of just talking about it because I'll be done with it. But then, yeah, it's some other people, different multiple superstars trying to give her advice and tell her what to do. And you had Elias, still made fun of as a joke in the old segment. You had Luchador's party. We have a party every week, don't we? Okay, great. And they get a guitar and sing, just, everything, put a guitar, you're smashing the head. Yeah, classic villainous style. That was good for Elias, yes. And they needed that because he's still getting mocked and made fun of. It is not changing his character after a while. And some of the same people going against the same people. And then Sasha Banks couldn't do that much in wrestling. She should just been pulled from certain match and just match instead of ringside and just got the way time somebody get hurt. So like little old goddess. But you know why? You know why the goddess would do? Because the goddess wouldn't be getting their bob again because she did say only one brain. So I don't know if she will explain it again over and over again without to see. Happen to like her. You know what I'm talking about. But nonetheless, being that segment after segment and most in the middle of all the rest of them, 3 hours on that being spent through the night. This is what I would say. It's not the Attitude Era. Evidently, no. I would compare Becky Lynch to being Stone Cold Steve Austin unless you told me to, because I was going to be the so-called quote-unquote mindless sheep, right? No, she's different because Stone Cold wouldn't just be spending 3 hours on an apology, let alone one or two at that. And anyway, you know, most of half the night was on one segment back in the day, and that was him not trying to do anything to Triple H or one of the DX members or, the McMahon Helmsley regime at the time when Jim Moss used to try to talk him out of it. And it wasn't spent 3 hours on that. No, because he was badass, and that's what he did. But you'll catch him on social media saying, do you miss some part of the Attitude Era in the 1890s? The answer to that would be is, hell yes. They'll be given any time to go back and reminisce where we can stand the current every now and then compare the two, not even compare the two, but just look at two different eras and see what the difference is. In Attitude, you did have some instances of people would be screwed over, but they didn't spend 3 hours apologizing. And then you had the other era, the current one right now. Well, that's what happened last night, and that's what went on with Raw. As this is part 2 of my video that I was telling you about last night that I was going to do. Only up in the room, not here in the kitchen explaining that. That's exactly what's been going on. Yes. And pretty soon in my next apartment, next place I live at, different video, different channel, whole new element. And there's something downtown at school. Well, outside fun of it, when the weather is a hell of a lot more better than where it's at for Chicago, and it's not as snowy and wintry with rain, and it's not a lot of craziness. You can't act right. I do a video, do a channel outside, ain't nobody trying to be or nothing. Crazy. But anyway, yes. As I'm saying, but that just seeing a lot of change, a lot of stuff before. And I ain't explaining this book because it already was explained a few hours ago, earlier today. You know, I did not see that coming, right? Took me by surprise at the end that I was speaking up and talking up. Who was I talking up? Vince McMahon, right? I was talking him up after Becky Lynch and Charlotte got on each other in the ring, bite, or kiss or whatever. But why bother? You know, he came out and said, I don't like your attitude and match and stuff, so therefore you're pulled from this. You suspended for 60 days. It's familiar because last year, Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch is another different story. She wasn't very seen at the time. What more difference a year makes, right? Not so much a difference, because we were cycling storylines from one superstar to another. You have what I'm calling this a gimmick identity crisis, where they have written the superstar not to know exactly who they are, and they're just being compared to other people from past to recent, and they just can't find their own self in their own groove, It's nice to have some comparison, imitation is the greatest form of flattery, as they say, but to constantly do it every single time and not be yourself, that's just lame. It's hokey. That's what it is. It's hokey, yep, as you would put it. And I just got tired of that anyways. So when you think about it, you need a freaking Advil to go to the migraine that I gave you last night, the headache, you had nausea or something. Raw's just like, probably for a while, a little bit, week after week after week after week, a case of bad strawberries that you eat in your place, your apartment or your house, that you eat, that you have top on your dessert, that you know is not no good after a while, and you gotta take it back to the store because you don't want mold on it. Raw's been riddled with storyline mold, like spoiled bread. Like every week it's mostly the same thing, and it's going stale from people being backstage only in a segment where they're looking for something in a talk show segment, and the wrestle for the program on TV. And I see them wrestle at live events too, so they're good for that when they could back away a little bit. Good, then maybe I'll attend a live shows for them, but not for certain other superstars. I've learned my lesson not to put them this high up on a pedestal anymore than where they need to be. Hero worshiping them doesn't get them anywhere. It just makes it more worse for you. Maybe not for them because they're laughing at it, and you can't deal with it. And the booking, is bad for Becky Lynch mostly, like it is bad for Braun Strowman. And why did we have Kurt Angle and did he have a retirement speech only for him to go back in the ring to wrestle, only just to lose? We know I can understand maybe he's putting certain other guys over, but at least he can win some matches anyways and losing too if he's going to teach them personal lesson. Let me believe into the story. Let me believe in the story in order for them to sell it well. Okay, the Kurt Angle wins too after a while. And then if he goes to lose for a minute, it's fine for a minute. As long as it's not really 50-50 booking, like EC3 versus Dean Ambrose. After EC3 comes off of being interviewed, by the host of A Moment of Bliss, he goes and wins one match in his debut in Raw, and that was good. But then last night, the next week, you're going to lose a match. Okay, Dean Ambrose loses one to you because you have to win one on your debut. You can't look bad, but then he has to win one the next week. Yep, what is that? 50-50 booking, yep. Because you can't stand, like I said last night in part one of the video, this video, you can't have one person have an L and the other one have a W without the other person that had the L to have a W as well. There's nothing wrong and no shame in taking some defeat for something. It's not going to entirely hurt you if you won and you picked up a W before all the other times in your other matches. Why not? Man. And why not to a different person to have a W against a different person? Why it had to be one against EC3 last night, who just started up and came up from NXT. Now you familiar with EC3 from the other promotion, from Impact, when he was the other EC3. He was somebody's nephew, but now he's just a wrestler in there. And he doesn't even talk either, though. Let's not even begin with that, where he could talk, because he could be a good talker. Whatever. We did have a repeat of 50-50 booking redundancy back in the day when I was really just done off these projects and just filmed through with these channels and all, and looking at everything he did when The Rock and John Cena was feuding. Yep. You could say that probably should never have taken place in that program. I don't know. But it is what it is. It happened. That stayed in the past. Like, they built it up a year later for The Rock to go against John Cena. And then have one against Cena. And then a year later after that, for Cena to have one against The Rock, and The Rock to raise his head on up after that in MetLife. Yeah. And The Rock introduced a new WWE Championship. That's what he did. Yeah. That's how that went. Apparently, yeah. But that's 50-50 booking. That's what usually happens. That's good. Good to know. You have to be educated on that. Yeah. But man, was that crazy and sunk donkeys as hell last night. And you give the main event to Charlotte. But this would be a triple threat. This would be Charlotte, Ronda Rousey, and Becky Lynch, which you didn't really need anyways. There are triple threats in WrestleMania's past. Why couldn't this one be any different? I expected it to be a main event because it's the women, but it'd be close to it. We'll know the main event is going to be Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar for the Raw Universal Championship. And I went with my calls that maybe Seth Rollins might be the actual man. He was the original one that was the man next to Ric Flair. And yeah, be the man, you got to beat the man. And to Vince McMahon's solution or mind, saying last night to Becky Lynch, yeah, you're not the man, I'm the man. Yeah, you're the man that's gonna step on the man of the neck. Because you WWE, the machine, got to have the thumb on Becky Lynch. They gotta have the thumb on her and down because she got too hot, so you have to cool her down a little bit. Because she's anti-machine and against the machine. And that's how you played it off to be. And they wanted a response last night, one from me with anybody else. Because they wanted the response and they go off of their excellence and people bought into it. That's what happened. Like the work with Dean Ambrose. Because yeah, it could be forgetting everything with Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. After, that announcement last year, back in October, that devastating announcement, and had Dean Ambrose turn on Seth Rollins, and all of a sudden you've had him to just after a while say, go get the beast. Yeah, good for you. Go for the team. Now we're going to go out. After all, we're going to go eat some beef hot links and go have a nice old quick glass of Walker's Ale and everything else after that and drink whatever after that instead of always match you against, C3. And of course, you have Baron Corbin still wearing the same gear. I'm not looking at him, but I'm saying, get over it. You're not no longer acting GM. Kurt Angle's no longer vacation. He's wrestling in the ring against you, and you're not interim GM or GM elect or whatever the hell it is you was gonna be called in the first place. That's it. Just get over it already. Need to move on from that wrestling. That's a different type of gear. These are all bald head like Mr. Clean and everything, and on your outfit and stuff like that. Forget that. You're not authority anymore. Deal with it. Yeah. But Charlotte didn't really exactly need that event. And why couldn't she just go against also somebody else for the SmackDown Women's Championship and have to be against Ronda Rousey? Yeah. But you don't got nothing for Asuka on SmackDown Live, right? She's just a champion coasting dude. Now you want to complain and say that Southern Goddess was women's champion at the time, and she when Money in Bank that championship back here. It just seems like you making her to have her story cycle where she doesn't defend the championship, and she doesn't have anybody to go up against. Yeah, why not bring up a Kerry Sane or somebody else, maybe Shayna Baszler or somebody to go because might make a four horsewomen or whatever, to be badass, a villainous antagonist faction of a group that go up against the protagonists, the ones that stand for good and right and justice, red, white, and blue to the American way. Why not? If you could do that, you could make Ronda Rousey be the one that could easily line up with the authority because she was the first pick in there coming at the end of the Royal Rumble last year, and being this year and all that, being champion and everything from last year, and half would just be good. It reminded me, of course, of CM Punk. When he was getting hot real good in 2011, they tried to squash down his momentum after a while. And they had him good. This was 2011. This was July, August 2011's CM Punk through somewhere in the middle. Okay. July 2012 CM Punk. Because CM Punk was good for a minute, and then against The Rock, because The Rock shots and like, yeah, I'm gonna get the championship from you and everything like that. And they're like, whoa, they didn't think about who the champion was. But never mind you going against John Cena and getting it from him. He wasn't the champion. Wow, you're just gonna just immediately do that. Okay, whatever. Which led to CM Punk being back to Phil and fit most of his role. But still, he was the antagonist, the story always, but he was this anti-authority figure protagonist. It's anything in this straight edge lifestyle. Don't smoke, don't drink, don't do drugs, none of that bad stuff. And stuff was good and pure and what it was for the company. And they don't buy into all that stuff. They just don't. They want something, you just go along with something, and you just deal with it. They want you to suck up, pucker up, kiss the ass, kiss the McMahon ass, and this is a real good time for now to revive the McMahon Kiss My Ass Club. The McMahon Kiss My Ass Club, because everybody might as well kiss his ass. You'll do anything a couple of years shot for a session, as long as you pucker up to the man. But he's not the man. Ric Flair's the man. You have a birthday thing coming up for the Nature Boy, but involved for everything with him and his family and his daughter, she mostly talented. But I'm sorry, Charlotte just didn't need to be in that event at the time for that moment because you're supposed to have been promising for change. You're supposed to have Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch. Wouldn't it make more sense to have an opponent, excuse me because I had a notification, made more sense to have an opponent like Becky Lynch, like Charlotte, like Asuka to go against Charlotte for the SmackDown Exchange because you don't got nobody. Yeah, you just put them all together, all the women for that championship. You just have who you gonna have? You're gonna have maybe you have Naomi, which she may be good for. You will never know. Or Carmella out that, but she never really got her chance again to have it again. She was only on for a little bit after the Money in the Bank or whatever. Now, if a celebration restarted up again, who knows? Lana knew she manager Rusev, whatever. Why not Selena Vega, huh? But she doesn't. You didn't get. And there's no story build up. There's this promise for certain other superstars in repetitive matches and stuff, and yet you have you have people down in the development that could get called up again. Maybe a superstar shakeup might bring that up. Some fresh matches or something. Only one could hold out hope. As long as I go over this company, I must say this. I guess I'm gonna go into Mines because I have a promotion in a book. And don't take my idea because I'm copyrighting. I'm just gonna say I came up with it first. It's GYW. You're already doing it because I'm going to put a markup on you too. Generation of young wrestlers. This is a challenge to do a little bit more better than WWE. Maybe it is because we won't have repetitiveness a whole lot. We won't have that constantly. And it won't be too much of some 50-50 booking here, there. Like you go into a store, you have a scale of that. But yeah, that's it for me. So there we go. Your event.